Now it's time for the fourth episode of How Not to Be a Dick. Well, this would be the third episode, but the second episode recording was so long that I had to cut it in two. So the second half of the second episode was used as the third episode, making this the fourth. Okay, so let's begin. TMI. Okay, back up for a second. That advice about total honesty doesn't apply to everything. I kind of already said that. When meeting someone for the first time, try to avoid personal topics such as breakups, sexual liaisons, sexual liaisons. I don't know what that word is. Rashes, gossip about common friends, and monologues about how your parents ruined your life. Before speaking, think, if I type this in an email and sent it to my entire address book, would I be embarrassed? If so, save the conversation for a more intimate setting. It's great to be honest, but show some tact and discretion. Humor. Humor is a great addition to any conversation. Yeah, and if you're in a conversation with me, there'll likely be humor, though, even if you don't like it. Whatever. Everyone enjoys a good laugh. Laughter brings us closer together. Yep. So according to this book, Pinkie Pie's best pony. However, remember that not everyone finds the same things amusing. Jokes that belittle others or trade in stereotypes, particularly if they make fun of some aspect of the person you're with, can backfire. A bad joke is one thing, but intolerance is no laughing matter. Yeah, but I joke about everything, so... Okay. So stay away from jokes based on racial, ethnic, cultural, or gender stereotypes. And if someone makes a tasteless joke, let the person know that kind of humor is wrong and only peddled by dicks and stand-up comics looking to express their inner regret. Well, I guess I'm already the bad guy. If you hear a joke that isn't based on hate or stereotypes, don't be afraid to pass it on. Yeah, but I usually pass on jokes even if they're on stereotypes. Asking for someone's phone number. Few things are more anxiety producing than asking for someone else's phone number, because projection stinks. Despite all the effort you've put into active listening, the person might still say no. Of course, people might have a good reason for not giving you their phone number, and it might have nothing to do with you. Maybe they're in a relationship, or maybe they just want to enjoy a night with their friends. Or maybe they just don't want to give their phone numbers to complete strangers. So just accept that things might not turn out, and that's okay. There are tons of fish in the sea. If you react with anger, it will only make things worse. And if the person says yes, then ask politely to exchange phone numbers, so that you both share the calling power. Yeah, But you don't have to give somebody your phone number if you don't want to. In fact, over the internet, it would probably be safer to keep your phone number to yourself. Ending a conversation. All good things must come to an end, and that goes for conversations too. To avoid any awkwardness, be as upfront as possible. Let the other person finish his or her sentence, then nip things off firmly. If you want to go because the other person has said something truly offensive or won't stop looking at you inappropriately, don't descend to her level. It says her level. I think it should say their level, otherwise it might come off as sexist. Okay. If someone really is being a dick, you don't want to prolong things or provoke even worse dickish behavior in a fight. If you spend your... sorry, I lost my thought. Okay. If you spend a lot of time around people, whether in class, at your job, in social circles, or in a relationship, disagreements and squabbles are bound to happen. Fighting is a natural part of life, and sometimes arguments help clear the air. So if you find yourself in a fight, don't fret, just be careful not to get carried away. When emotions run high, people can often say or do things that they will later regret. How you fight makes all the difference. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually a supporter of constructive arguments in which both sides present a case, present evidence to prove their point, and then come to some sort of understanding. It can actually help both people who are in the argument to know the truth and stuff, Pick your battles. When you find yourself in a disagreement with someone, first take a breath and ask yourself, is this fight worth it? Sometimes the subject of an argument isn't worth fighting over, and the best strategy is to agree to disagree. Each person's point of view can be valid. If you try to convince other people that they're wrong, you run the risk of saying something mean and making the argument personal. Consider whether what you are saying is really contributing to the constructive discussion. Like I said, remember you have to pick your battles. A canine POTUS, the 14th President of the United States, Ed Crane, may be an adorable idea, but is it really worth fighting about? Adorable idea? Okay, I guess let's just move on. In the end, what's more important, winning the argument or saving your relationship? I'd have to say finding the truth and coming to an understanding. Of course, that would also help with the relationship, so yeah. See the other side. When emotions flare and tempers are high, it's hard to think straight, let alone say what you mean, especially when you're both shouting each other down. Try to allow the other person to finish, no matter how right or wrong you think he is. Take a moment to try to see his side of things. You might learn some things. Yeah, no. And I usually try to learn, or know both the sides of the argument. Like I said, both sides should be learning something, or at least coming to an understanding if they already know what it is. The other person will probably say some things that you do not agree with, but now it's not that time is interrupt. After all, just think how frustrating it is when someone interrupts you. It can often cause us to boil over. Think before you speak. Once the other person has finished, it's your turn to have the floor. But wait, once again, take a breath and think before you speak. The other party may have said some hurtful things, and you might want to return the favor. But won't that only make things worse? Count to 10 slowly, and let yourself calm down. Then start by recognizing the larger perspective. Actually, if you know how to do proper constructive arguments, you won't have to calm down, because you'll be able to analyze you'll be able to come to understanding what is correct or wrong about their statement, and then you calmly produce evidence that supports your side of the argument, or come to some sort of understanding of the other person's argument. Then start by recognizing the larger perspective. Not only does this let the person know you care, but taking the high road is the best way to get an argument back on track. Apologies for any wrongdoing. Then consider if the other person has said anything, even remotely accurate, at all. Remember, any relationship is a two-way street, and you probably played some part in this fight. Is there any area you can recognize where you were in the wrong? If so, take the time to acknowledge that fact. Okay. Take responsibility for your feelings. Let's just say, for example, that the other person has said some mean things that have made you very angry. Those angry feelings are your responsibility. Before you can discuss the issue at hand, you have to express your feelings perfectly with a well-crafted I statement. After all, the young lady isn't saying you're a bad person. She is just expressing her personal opinion about the flavor of your logs. Flavor of your logs. No comment. I'm not commenting. Oh wait, I just commented. Shoot. If you attack the other person, that will put her on the defensive. Only you can control how you feel. So focus on solving the problem without letting emotions get in the way. That's the best way to find a solution that will work for everyone. Okay, well, we're about to reach the ending time for this video. And we reached the end of the chapter. So, hope you enjoyed, and we'll continue on chapter 2 in the next video.